What would you do if every single morning, you woke up to the exact same alarm on the exact same date, for an entire millennium? Imagine waking up on July 7th, 2020 over and over until you lose your mind. You try the hedonistic route, blowing cash, breaking laws, and gambling away fortunes that effectively never existed. When that gets stale, you try the exit strategy, but nope, the universe just hits the reset button and drags you back to 7 a.m. right on schedule. It is like being stuck in the world's longest, most annoying Groundhog Day, except the protagonist has spent his 1,000-year sentence becoming a polyglot hacker god with absolutely zero chill. He is sitting in a neon-soaked bar, rocking a pajama set covered in dog faces, trying to explain his existential prison to a woman who definitely thinks he is trying to use the lamest pickup line in human history. She is busy texting her friend, looking for any possible excuse to escape this weirdo in his bedtime attire. But he is not just some rambling barfly. He drops a bombshell prediction, telling her that in exactly 9 minutes and 13 seconds, her phone will buzz with a cancellation because her ex-boyfriend just crawled out of the woodwork to ruin her night. She scoffs, but the air in the room shifts. Right on cue, the phone rings. The friend is on the line, the ex is back, and suddenly, the dog pajama guy looks less like a creep and more like a prophet with a cheat code for reality. Just as he offers a getaway, a local thug with a fragile ego and a bad haircut grabs her arm, demanding she drink with him. Our guy does not even blink. The thug flicks a lit cigarette directly into our protagonist's face, but he dodges like a professional. When the thug swings, it is honestly embarrassing to watch. Our guy dodges like he is starring in a low-budget Matrix sequel, then launches the guy into the stratosphere with a single, brutal uppercut. The rest of the gang freezes, probably wondering if their health insurance covers getting folded by a man in sleepwear. Then, a heavy-set guy in a floral shirt steps up, looking for a confrontation. Instead of a fight, the protagonist drops a name, Zhao. He asks if this is really how the boss taught them to behave. The gang leader goes pale. The guy makes one quick call to an unknown contact, dropping a warning about a meeting in May and threatening to start a literal war in China if they don't get their act together. He tosses the phone over. The heavy-set thug listens for 2 seconds, and the entire crew is suddenly bowing, desperate for mercy. It turns out, when you have had 1,000 years to memorize every secret in the criminal underworld, intimidation becomes incredibly efficient. He just walks away with the woman in tow, leaving the thugs wondering what just hit them. They end up at a parking garage where he grabs a random red sports car. When she asks if it belongs to him, he brushes it off with the ultimate apathy, noting that the whole city will just reset to default tomorrow anyway. He tells her he is not into women who wear a mountain of makeup, which is, admittedly, a bold strategy for getting a second date. He dares her to come back to his place to prove his time loop insanity is actually real. She warns him that she will call the cops if he tries anything, which is honestly a fair reaction to being invited home by a pajama-wearing car thief. The next morning, the sun hits the room, and the digital clock ticks from 7 to 7:01. He wakes up expecting the reset, expecting the bed to be empty, and expecting his life of infinite boredom to continue. But the universe has a sense of humor. The woman walks out of the bathroom, wrapped in a towel, with her face scrubbed clean of all that makeup. She is staring at her phone, absolutely furious, and demands to know why the screen says July 8th. After 1,000 years of the exact same sunrise, the loop is broken. The world has finally moved on, and for the first time in a millennia, the man has absolutely no idea what is going to happen next. It is not exactly the start to the day he wanted, but at least he is not stuck in a cycle of dog pajama misery anymore. Honestly, being a time loop protagonist is probably the most stressful hobby you could ever choose. Outside a locked bathroom door, that woman is hammering away at the wood, demanding to know exactly what is happening. Inside, the man formerly trapped in a decade-spanning snooze fest is standing under the shower, coming to terms with the fact that this is not another hallucination. Time is actually moving. The calendar flipped, the sun rose, and he is finally out of his Groundhog Day nightmare. Before he can even dry off, a glowing blue holographic interface flickers into existence in front of him. It announces that he has officially cleared the Millennium Test, and his personal time reincarnation system is finally online. He pulls up his character stats, and the results are honestly hilarious. His physical attributes like strength, speed, and stamina are sitting at pathetic single digits, but then he looks at his mental strength, 10,158. He has spent a millennium hoarding 1,354 near-perfect skills, including everything from piano and marksmanship to French, English, and professional-grade fighting. He experiments with the system while still in the shower, asking if he can manipulate the clock, wraps a towel around his waist, and steps out to find the woman in the apartment. She is panicked, mostly because a gang of thugs with a grudge is currently outside their door, threatening to smash it down. Apparently, Stealing a car and running from the underworld is a great way to start your first real day in forever. She starts blaming him, accusing him of using her as a human shield. He drops some heavy context. The car he swiped belonged to Wang Zhuangyuan, an underworld boss in East China, known for literally hacking up his parents' attackers with a bat. The woman realizes they are in serious trouble. He adds that stealing the car is small potatoes compared to the fact that he used the name Li Gongzi the day before, a move that could trigger a massive wave of violence if the fallout is not handled immediately. She tries to regain the upper hand, striking a pose and asking if he even knows who she is. She suggests that he should be begging her for help. He responds by stepping into her personal space, grabbing her waist, and asking if she should be the one begging, just like she did the night before. She is visibly flustered and pushes him away, threatening to let him die. He just smiles. He knows he can fix this with a single thought. Before she can force him to actually get dressed, he places a finger to her lips. He tells her he will just start over. He commands the system to execute a time reset. The world around them instantly freezes, and the woman holding her phone at 07:01 shatters into glowing shards of light. The scene cuts back to the bedroom. Everything is exactly as it was. The woman is standing there, still holding her phone, still looking at the time, still ready to demand an explanation. He sits on the edge of the bed, feeling the weight of the moment. The reset worked. He is not just living through time anymore. He is actively controlling it. Having the power to undo your most embarrassing mistakes at the press of a button is basically the ultimate life hack. He has the skills, the system, and a fresh start on July 8th. The real question now is how long he can keep this up before the universe decides to push back. It is time to see how much chaos he can stir up now that the game is actually fair. The stolen red sports car is tearing through the city streets with SUVs full of armed thugs hot on its tail. One of them hangs out the window, handgun raised, screaming for them to stop or face the consequences. The woman in the passenger seat is spiraling, convinced they are completely pinned, but the driver just smirks like he is playing an open-world video game. He tells her that the chaos is actually the fun part. With a precision that defies physics, he slams the brake and the gas simultaneously, throwing the car into an impossibly sharp drift. The pursuing SUVs have zero chance of keeping up, losing control and smashing into each other in a spectacular pileup. It is basically a high-octane demolition derby, and he makes it look like a casual Tuesday. His phone rings mid-escape, and he answers without missing a beat. He tells the woman on the other line that Mr. Lee wants her to know there is a traitor in her camp who is going to make her lose her big bet. The caller is rattled, demanding to know who he is and how he has such specific information, but he just teases her with bits about her brother. He tells her to send someone to her office in 30 minutes so they can talk face to face. The woman sitting next to him is stewing, totally convinced her friend orchestrated this entire absurd situation just so he could track down where she lives. They pull up to a massive estate, and he tells her they have reached her home. He correctly guesses she is wondering how he knew her address, but he spares her the lecture. He plays it off, knowing she would never believe that he spent 1,000 years living the same day over and over. She grabs her bag, fuming, and tells him to quit the act, warning him not to expect a phone call. As she steps out of the car on shaky legs, she admits his driving is actually impressive and asks where he picked up that skill. He replies that he practiced through life and died plenty of times to get it perfect. Don't try to learn from him because while he had an infinite number of do-overs, she only gets one. Half an hour later, he is being escorted into the president's office of a sleek high-rise in Donghai City. He is there to meet Li Ruobing, a star entrepreneur and a major player in the local business scene. She is sitting behind her desk in a sharp black suit and glasses, looking like she is ready to conduct a corporate execution. She reads from his file, noting he is 22, a computer science grad from Donghai University, the son of restaurant owners, and has a younger sister in high school. She tears the paper in half, unimpressed by his normal background, and demands to know who he really is. He just gives her that signature calm smile and tells her that he is definitely not ordinary. He leans over her desk, offering to reveal the identity of the traitor in her ranks in exchange for $10 million. She is not buying it. She reaches under her desk, pulls out a handgun, and jams the barrel right against his forehead. She tells him he is not leaving that room alive unless he starts talking. He is completely unfazed, even with a gun pointed at his brain. He tells her he believes she would actually pull the trigger, but he politely asks how she plans to do it without her ammunition. He holds up the magazine and a stray bullet, revealing he had already disarmed her while she was busy trying to be intimidating. Li Ruobing lowers her pistol in total disbelief, staring at the empty metal frame and the loose bullet now resting in Wu Chen's hand. He isn't sweating. He just stands there, casually boasting that his sleight of hand is just another perk of his business acumen. He tells her he is strictly here for the money, a calculated lie meant to make himself seem like a standard mercenary rather than a guy who has literally seen the future for 1,000 years. He keeps the pressure on, leaning in and asking her exactly what else she wants to know. He proceeds to dismantle her entire life in a matter of seconds. He lays out her struggle to escape her brother's shadow as the eldest daughter of the Li family and the suffocating pressure from her mother to marry Ding Ruelong. To dodge that nightmare, she had hired 3 fake boyfriends. But Ding Ruelong, a man who makes even the coldest Bond villains look soft, systematically destroyed them all. 1 committed suicide, 1 ended up in a mental facility, and the 3rd was framed for prison life. To buy her freedom, she entered a secret 5-year business bet against him to see whose startup would grow larger, her only legal exit from the forced marriage. She is reeling, but he isn't done. He drops the final bomb. Ding Ruelong has a spy in her ranks who plans to sabotage her upcoming product launch. The precision of his intelligence is terrifyingly effective. She doesn't even hesitate, grabbing her checkbook and writing out $10 million. She hands it over and demands the name of the traitor. Right on cue, her senior assistant, Feng Yan, walks in with a document for her to sign. Wu Chun moves with speed that would make a ninja jealous, grabbing the guy by the head and slamming his face directly into the wooden desk. He labels him the traitor instantly. When the assistant starts crying denial, Wu Chun demands to know about the $5 million recently wired to his Swiss bank account. The guy tries to play dumb, but Wu Chun grabs his phone and hits speakerphone on a recent contact. A voice answers asking if the job is done. It is Ding Ruelong, and the sound of his voice has Li Ruobing visibly shaking in horror. Wu Chun tosses the assistant aside like a bag of trash, calling him out for years of petty theft that finally hit a bridge too far. Li Ruobing glares at the groveling man, stunned that he would trade her loyalty for a mere $5 million. Feng Yan tries one last desperate play, claiming that her mother never actually wanted the marriage but was coerced by the grandfather. Before she can fall for the bait, Wu Chun shuts it down, explaining that Ding Ruelong coached him to say that specifically to trigger her emotional weakness. The guy really is the worst. Accepting the grim reality, she commands the traitor to get out of her sight forever. He doesn't need to be told twice, scrambling out of the office in a blind panic. Once the door closes, she turns to Wu Chun and casually mentions that the assistant will be at the bottom of the river in a cement tomb by tonight. She is a straight-up mob boss in a designer suit. Despite his help, she still thinks he might be a double agent playing a long con to earn her trust. Wu Chun doesn't miss a beat. He smiles, places his hand on her head, and offers a solution to clear the air. He will be her new fake boyfriend. He is essentially betting that he can manipulate the most paranoid person in the city by playing the most dangerous game. It is a bold move, almost like he is trying to flirt with a woodchipper. He is moving past the survival phase and straight into the inner circle. Wu Chun stands there, calmly proposing to be her fake boyfriend as if he is offering to pick up dry cleaning. He argues that Ding Ruelong, a man with an ego the size of a planet, would never let a public betrayal slide, making this the perfect bulletproof shield against suspicion. Li Ruobing is clearly hesitant, remembering that her last 3 attempts at this ended with her fake partners meeting fates like prison, suicide, or mental wards. She basically points the disarmed pistol at his head, asking if he is afraid. He just leans his forehead against the barrel and smiles, telling her that if she really wanted him gone, she wouldn't be doing it herself, so there is absolutely no reason to panic over a joke. She lowers the gun and breaks into a smile, admitting she actually likes him. She immediately pulls him into a tight embrace and snaps an intimate selfie, looking at the screen with the satisfaction of someone who just secured a massive tactical advantage. She officially declares him her boyfriend and personal assistant, telling him to show up later to make it official. Before she walks away, he hits her with some heavy truth about her powerful brother. He details the vast criminal empire her brother runs, including the East China Sea Crown, Central China Regal, and South China Sea Plaza. He warns her that these clubs are deep into illegal activities involving elites and government officials, and they have officially crossed the line. He predicts that the ongoing 3-month police investigation will close the net within a month, forcing the entire Li family to cut ties with her brother to survive the fallout. It is the kind of high-stakes intel that could destroy a dynasty overnight. Later that night, the consequences of his meddling start to manifest. Outside the East China Sea Crown Club, a panicked thug reports to Wang Zhuangyuan about the mysterious guy who stole his car and started throwing around the name of their boss's family. Inside a VIP room, Wang Zhuangyuan is busy filling in the head honcho, Zhao Guizi, about the arrogant thief who somehow knew their private contact numbers and the details of the secret May rally. The boss sitting in the armchair is Li Ruotai, the eldest grandson of the Li family. He is clearly not a guy you want to cross, angrily ordering his men to find the thief so he can handle the execution himself. But then the door bursts open. Li Ruobing walks in like she owns the place. Li Ruotai instantly crushes his cigarette, terrified because his sister hates the smell, while the legendary crime bosses around him scramble to bow in respect. He nervously asks why she is here, and she doesn't waste time. She introduces Wu Chun, who just waves at the room of hardened killers like he is at a family barbecue. Wu Chun tosses the stolen car keys right to a stunned Wang Zhuang'an, casually explaining that he just borrowed the ride to have some fun. The thug is livid, shouting to Li Ruotai that this is the exact guy who stole his car and impersonated him. But Wu Chun is busy analyzing the room. He knows Li Ruotai is the golden child who commands the family resources and holds power equal to Ding Ruelong. But he also knows the guy's secret weakness. He remembers that Li Ruobing spent their entire childhood beating her brother into submission. Li Ruotai is shaking as he asks who the guy is, but Li Ruobing doesn't answer with words. She grabs her brother by the ear and yanks him down, demanding to know what he just called his new brother-in-law. The room goes silent. Li Ruotai shrieks the word, and the powerful crime bosses around him just repeat it, looking like they have seen a ghost. Li Ruotai complains that this is just another one of her fake boyfriend tricks to avoid her arranged marriage. But when he asks for a reason to accept this random guy, she freezes. Wu Chun realizes she is trapped, so he fakes a sudden illness, clutching his chest and blaming her for his poor health. Li Ruobing looks confused, but he leans in close to whisper a reminder that he isn't afraid of the drama or her brother's reaction. In the background, Li Ruotai is standing there, completely frozen in horror, watching his sister and this random guy stage a scene that could ruin their family reputation forever. Li Ruotai is absolutely reeling from the news, jumping straight to the most awkward conclusion possible by asking if his sister is pregnant and if the man standing in front of him is the father. Li Ruobing just steps closer to Wu Chun and gently holds his arm, confirming their relationship. She adds that while he isn't the most handsome guy around, he definitely isn't bad to look at. Li Ruotai isn't having it. He points out the massive age gap, questioning why his sister, who usually prefers older men, is suddenly dating someone in his early 20s. He assumes love has just completely nuked her IQ. He glares at Wu Chun, secretly vowing to save his sister from this apparent con artist, and demands to know their origin story. Wu Chun doesn't even flinch, smoothly lying that they met 3 months ago when Li Ruobing was recruiting interns at his university, even though she is internally wondering how on earth he knew about that specific recruitment drive. But she plays along perfectly, still deeply suspicious. Li Ruotai points an accusing finger and asks if she really trusts a guy she has only known for 90 days, bringing up a rumor that Wu Chun was spotted with another girl at the Lotus Bar just yesterday. Caught totally off guard, Li Ruobing demands the truth. Wu Chun explains that the woman was Mu Chen, the daughter of the owner of the East China Sea Mu Biomedical Group. He flips the script, telling Li Ruotai that he should be thanking him because if he hadn't stopped one of his men from making a move on her yesterday, there would have been a catastrophic incident to deal with. He explains that while Li Ruotai's group might be like a dragon, the Mu group is a small, venomous snake. Fighting them would cost far more than it is worth. Li Ruotai realizes he just dodged a bullet and offers a genuine thank you. Li Ruobing watches this, silently impressed that Wu Chun just effortlessly neutralized her fearless brother with nothing but words. She tells her brother to cut the small talk, explaining that they are here because powerful people from the higher-ups are planning to raid the Crown Club. Li Ruotai insists that is impossible, but Wu Chun shuts him down, noting that he shouldn't have used a video for blackmail and should have dumped his business partner, Xie Hu, a long time ago. Li Ruobing gets furious, demanding to know why he is still in league with Xie Hu after she explicitly told him the guy was bad news. Wu Chun reveals that Xie Hu has already sold Li Ruotai out, pinning all their illegal activities on him to save his own skin. Li Ruotai is terrified, wondering how Wu Chun knows about a secret deal even his own sister was in the dark about. Wu Chun tells him he isn't there to hold his hand. He is only helping because he doesn't want Li Ruobing to be sad if something bad happens to her brother. If Li Ruotai doesn't come clean today, he is not walking out of this room alive. Li Ruotai yells at his sister, but Li Ruobing tells him to shut up and listen. Wu Chun drops the real bombshell. For months ago, a man named Liao Bo was parachuted into the local police department specifically to dismantle the Crown Entertainment case. He explains that undercover cops have been posing as cleaners and service staff to gather ironclad evidence. He grabs a pen and writes out a list of names, handing it over to a horrified Li Ruobing and Li Ruotai. Their operation is totally compromised. Li Ruotai orders his right-hand man to grab weapons, but Wu Chun stops him, warning that capturing the agents would just give the police a legal excuse to launch an immediate assault. Li Ruotai is cornered and desperate, finally asking for a solution. Wu Chun lounges on the sofa, looking completely bored by the panic, and tells the crime boss that he will fix everything provided he gets an apology first. Honestly, this guy is playing them like a fiddle. Li Ruotai is sweating buckets, trying to salvage some dignity by claiming he has to show respect because Wu Chun is technically part of the family now. Wu Chun is having none of it. He coldly points out that Li Ruotai does not actually view him as kin. The crime boss forces a laugh, stammering out an apology and claiming his previous hostility was just a protective reaction because he thought Wu Chun was deceiving his sister. Wu Chun brushes it off. He doesn't know if the apology is sincere, but he agrees to provide a survival strategy strictly for Li Ruobing's sake. He lays out a plan that sounds like a hitman's to-do list. First, he tells Li Ruotai to kill their liability Xiaohu, who knows too much. He reveals that Xiaohu is currently at Villa 17 in the Lotus Pond Manor with his mistress, getting high, so they should just stage a fatal overdose. Li Ruotai jumps at the chance for an assassination. Next, he forbids Li Ruotai from attacking the police director, Liao Bo, directly. Instead, he gives him the location of the gathered evidence. Willow Street, 2nd Avenue, Unit 3, Room 501, inside a hidden safe beneath the master bedroom closet. He even gives him the passcode 571564 and tells him to send someone to burn it all to the ground. Li Ruotai is completely shell-shocked by the hyper-specific intel. For the third step, Wu Chun commands him to confess the entire mess, especially the Xiaohu blackmail business, to Master Li. He explains that the Li family's rivals, the Wei family, are already waiting to strike at this exact vulnerability, and the patriarch needs to be ready for the fallout. Finally, he flicks open a lighter and tells Li Ruotai to start a small, controlled fire at the Crown Club. It will be the perfect, unsuspicious excuse to shut the place down for renovations while the heat dies down. Li Ruobing makes sure her brother stays compliant by violently pinching his ear until he yields. The strategy session is cut short by a frantic phone call. Li Ruotai's face turns pale as he learns his casino just dropped 2 billion. He tells the duo to wait while he handles the disaster, but Wu Chun's correctly guessing the winner is Shun Guangjuan, the owner of Fuxing Aluminum. Li Ruotai freezes. He has no idea how Wu Chun could possibly know that. They head down to the casino floor, where Li Ruotai explains that Shin Guangjuan showed up yesterday with gambling experts from Macau to settle an old score. Wu Chun fills in the gaps. Shin previously lost hundreds of millions at the club, which crippled his company. While desperate for cash, he discovered the blackmail tapes and handed them over to the Wei family. Backed by the Wei family's resources and knowing the Li operation is on the verge of collapse, Shun is no longer afraid of retaliation. Li Ruotai vows to have him killed, but Wu Chun tells him to stay calm. At the high-stakes table, Shin Guangjuan is laughing like he just won the lottery, raking in a massive pile of chips after hitting a straight flush. Li Ruotai arrives with his entourage and tries to act like he is not bleeding money, but Shun mocks him, pointing out that every single one of his house experts has already been humiliated. It is a total wipeout, and Shun knows it. Unfazed by the taunts, Wu Chun steps up to the table and disagrees. He shuffles the deck mid-air with lightning-fast dexterity, producing a royal flush of spades in an instant. He invites Boss Shin to play a few games. It is the ultimate power move. He is essentially challenging a man who thinks he has already won to a game that was rigged from the start. He is not just gambling. He is dismantling Shin's arrogance piece by piece, and he does it with the same indifference he showed when he disarmed a gun. Now, it is just a matter of watching the house of cards come crashing down. Let me tell you, stepping into an underground casino is stressful enough, but being down a fortune makes it a completely different game. Inside this lavish casino, Shin Guangjuan is practically laughing right in Li Ruotai's face. He openly mocks the powerful crime boss for sending an absolute youngster to the high-stakes table. He calls it completely embarrassing, especially considering Li has already bled a staggering 200 million chips. Sweating bullets under the immense pressure, Li Ruotai leans over to Li Ruobing. He nervously asks if her new brother-in-law actually possesses any real gambling skills. Stressed out of her mind and watching an empire slip away, Li Ruobing is forced to honestly admit she is absolutely not sure. Cow gambling expert quietly observes Wu Chun. He internally notes that true gambling masters rely entirely on minimal expressions and habitual movements. It requires a level of disciplined experience a youngster could not possibly possess. Bro thinks he is Sherlock. Leaning intimately over Wu Chun, Li Ruobing gently touches his face and asks if he is truly up to the task. He states that he can defeat any casino in this world. The dealer begins distributing the cards. Wu Chun is apparently refusing to look at his concealed bottom card. Seeing that Wu Chun just landed a face-up ace of spades, the expert invites him to bet first. Wu Chun pushes forward 500,000 in chips, and the expert quickly calls. What follows is a rapid-fire montage of gameplay spanning several tense rounds. Wu Chun consistently bets and folds without ever checking his hidden cards. After Wu Chun finally wins a round, it's to Shin Guangjuan that his hired expert seems to be running out of luck. Shin confidently replies that he estimates Boss Lee will simply have a lucky break. The expert intentionally loses early games to closely observe his opponent's habits and incentivize them to bet more, visualizing a spider trapping a butterfly. The expert silently calculates that Li Ruotai has already lost too much money to back out, and the casino will certainly add to the pool if the kid runs out of chips. During round 30, Wu Chun bets 1 million directly without checking his concealed card. The expert notes Wu Chen's apparent complete trust in his luck and calls the bet. When Wu Chun carelessly raises by another million, the expert looks at his own pair of kings and proudly declares an all-in bet, believing he has a sure win. Admiral Akbar would be proud. The expert is completely surprised when Wu Chun finally looks at his concealed card and confidently announces he is all in too. Smirking, the expert suggests adding another 100 million to the pot. Wu Chun agrees, but brazenly proposes making it 200 million in chips instead. Two women in bunny suits arrive carrying large trays of casino chips to accommodate the massive escalation. As Wu Chun places his hand over his cards to raise the bet, the expert deduces from his earlier observations that Wu Chun only points his finger at the hidden card when holding an ace. Confident in his psychological read, the expert folds. Smugly, the expert tells Wu Chun he was too eager and would have won if he had only raised by 50 million, that Wu Chen's bottom card is an ace. Wu Chun simply says nope and flips over his hidden card to reveal a 2 of hearts. The expert slams his hands onto the table in outrage, asking if he was tricked. Wu Chun casually replies that the expert did not dare to keep up and should not blame him. Like a bargain bin bond. His glasses glaring white, the expert tells Wu Chun not to be smug, internally believing he has grasped yet another playing habit. As round 31 commences, Wu Chun receives a 9 of diamonds face-up. Keeping his hand perfectly flat on the table, Wu Chun subtly peels up the corner of his concealed card with his thumb, checking his hand completely unnoticed. Even Batman couldn't catch that. The expert looks at his own cards, realizing they both have the exact same face-up hand. He calculates that the probability of all 4 nines coming out in one game is incredibly low. He concludes Wu Chun cannot beat him unless his hidden card is the 9 of spades. The expert looks to Shin Guangjuan, who nods to confirm Wu Chun did not look at his concealed cards. Smiling wickedly, the expert decides the net is closed. He pushes his massive pile of chips forward, proposing they play this final hand to determine the ultimate winner with a 200 million all-in bet. Sitting across the mountain of chips, Wu Chun looks up with absolute calm and calls the bet. Inside the high-stakes casino, the tension is suffocating. Li Ruobing is sweating, expressing deep concern over a massive $200 million bet. Tries to reassure her that their player has just been incredibly lucky, but it is clear they are on the ropes. Across the table, the glasses-wearing Macau gambling expert confidently shoves his chips forward. He dramatically flips over a 9 of diamonds to complete a winning hand. He immediately mocks Wu Chun for betting such an astronomical amount without even bothering to check his hidden card, arrogantly declaring the money is already his. Shin Guangjuan and his associates erupt into celebration, smugly suggesting his wealthy family won't miss such a small drop in the bucket. Completely unfazed by the circus around him, Wu Chun calmly asks if they are finished talking. With a casual flick of his wrist, Wu Chun flips over his hidden card. It is the 9 of spades. The Macau expert violently recoils in pure shock. He stares at the cards, demanding to know how and when Wu Chun managed to read his hand without anyone noticing. Wu Chun smiles that terrifying, all-knowing smile. He explains he had been secretly checking his cards since the very first game. He specifically manufactured fake physical habits to condition the expert into a false sense of security. The professional was simply too cocky to realize that Wu Chen's apparent nervous tics were actually intentional traps. A dark, predatory aura of a giant praying mantis visually surrounds the terrified expert. He realizes far too late that Wu Chun had been controlling the entire flow of the game from the beginning. The hunter just became the hunted. Stepping away from the table, Wu Chun places a heavy hand on Shin Guangjuan's shoulder. He casually points out that Shin borrowed every single cent of his gambling money, placing the businessman in massive financial peril. Sweating in sheer panic, Shin ignores his gambling expert's desperate attempts to explain the catastrophic loss. He abruptly declares they should take their conversation outside. As they rush for the exit, Wu Chun steps directly into their path. An angry Shin tries to pull rank, asking Li Ruotai if guests are being held captive just because they lost a bet. Ignoring the pathetic protests, Wu Chun turns to Li Ruotai and politely asks to borrow a knife. The crime boss tosses him a folded pocket knife, jokingly questioning his ability to even use a weapon. Wu Chun effortlessly catches the blade in midair and flicks it open with a swift, highly practiced motion. He is basically John Wick now. As Wu Chun stalks toward them with the open blade gleaming under the casino lights, the terrified Macau expert stumbles backward. In his blind panic, he inadvertently causes a hidden ace of spades to slip right out from his sleeve and flutter to the floor. Worst magic trick ever. Wu Chun stops and points at the dropped card. He states the expert used a requested card check before the 15th game to steal the ace and stash it in his sleeve. He notes he only kept quiet about the cheating because he wanted to secure his own massive victory first. An infuriated Shin immediately turns on his hired expert, viciously accusing him of daring to cheat right in front of his face. But before the stammering gambler can formulate a defense, Wu Chun lunges forward. He violently grabs the expert by the collar and slams him face down onto the hard gambling table. He forces the man's hand completely flat onto the surface, coldly reminding him of the strict underworld consequences for breaking the rules. Wu Chun drives the knife straight through the back of the expert's hand. The man screams in absolute visceral agony. Standing over the bleeding, pinned gambler, Wu Chun turns his icy gaze toward Shun. The terrified businessman frantically backs away, throwing his hands up and claiming he had absolutely nothing to do with the cheating scheme. Leaving the bloody scene behind, Wu Chun instructs Li Ruatai to handle the rest of the messy situation. He explicitly orders the crime boss not to touch the men while they are still inside the clubhouse. As Wu Chun and Li Ruobing walk away from the table, he then asks her a chilling question. How would it feel to cut her own hand? Staring at his retreating back, Li Ruobing is deeply unsettled by his terrifying, emotionless calmness. She silently wonders to herself if a person like him is truly capable of cold-blooded murder. You would think surviving a casino bloodbath earns you a break, but riding in the back of a moving luxury car, Li Ruobing is just trying to process everything as she praises Wu Chun for his absolute masterclass in gambling. He casually leans back into the plush leather, accepts the compliment, and immediately ruins the mood by reminding her not to forget to pay his bills. She rolls her eyes, complaining that the guy literally only ever thinks about money. Before they can start bickering, Wu Chen's entire demeanor shifts. He stares out the tinted window and notices a vehicle aggressively trailing them through the city streets. The pursuer is a man in a sharp suit, talking into a hidden earpiece. Li Ruobing immediately barks an order to her driver to lose the tail. She assumes it is just another creepy stalker sent by the ever-persistent Ding Ruelong. Wu Chun quickly shuts that theory down, explaining that Ding Ruelong is completely innocent this time around. More importantly, she is not even the intended target. Wu Chun reaches over and gently grasps her hand. He tells her not to be afraid because he will take care of absolutely everything. Smooth operator alert. Li Ruobing instantly blushes, internally noting that this is an incredibly slick way to hit on someone during a life-threatening crisis. She agrees to reward his earlier efforts with a really good meal. They arrive at a highly upscale restaurant and sit down for a quiet dinner. Wu Chun looks around at the wealthy patrons and asks if her high-profile presence will make everyone view him as a direct competitor. She confidently insists that she actually wants him to be known in these elite circles. Right on cue, a friendly older gentleman approaches their table to greet the CEO. This is Han Deli, the highly influential chairman of the Longqing Innovation Group. Playing her part perfectly, Li Ruobing introduces Wu Chun as her brand-new boyfriend, explaining they just stopped by because he was craving Cantonese food. Han Deli warmly shakes Wu Chen's hand, calling the younger man a perfect match for her. Checking his watch, the chairman politely excuses himself to go meet an arriving client. After he walks away, Li Ruobing explains that Han Deli is a genuinely friendly officer of the East China Sea Chamber of Commerce. He claims with absolute certainty that he already knows the man far better than she ever could. The conversation smoothly shifts to Li Ruobing's complicated social standing. She casually admits she has plenty of female rivals in the business world, but she finds their bitter animosity incredibly silly. A blonde woman in a tight black dress marches right up to their table. She mockingly asks since when Li Ruobing managed to acquire a boyfriend. This arrogant arrival is Lu Tsaixio. She is a direct business competitor who runs Yunxiu Fashion Company, a company built entirely on the deep pockets of her wealthy husband, Lu Guanyin. Lu Tsaixio wastes no time going on the offensive. She loudly calls Li Ruobing an old cow eating young grass, mocking the age gap of dating a man in his early 20s. Li Ruobing's expression hardens as she firmly tells the blonde woman to stop. She promises to treat the blatant insult as a mere joke solely out of respect for Lu's powerful husband. But Lu Tsaixio is feeling bold and refuses to back down, relentlessly continuing her taunting. Finally losing her temper, Li Ruobing grabs her coffee. He firmly grabs Li Ruobing's wrist to calm her down, insisting that he will handle this messy situation himself. He turns his attention to an incredibly irritated Lu Tsaixio and just stares at her intently. Wu Chun smirks, claiming he finally remembers where he knows her from. Then, he drops an absolute nuclear bomb on her fake high society facade. He bluntly asks her if she has ever worked in a nightclub. Emotional damage critical hit. Right in the middle of the upscale restaurant, Lu Tsaixio is fuming. She angrily demands to know how Wu Qin dares slander her by claiming her family worked in nightclubs. Wu Qin doesn't even blink. He calmly replies that a fancy facelift cannot erase her dirty past. Lu Tsaixio panics internally. She is terrified, wondering how this random kid knows about her deeply buried history from 10 long years ago. Trying to regain control, she praises his intelligence network, but our protagonist says it is way too early to gloat, claiming the best part has yet to come. Suddenly, Lu Guanyin, the immensely powerful chairman of the Donghai Julie Group, approaches the table. He demands to know what this entire mess is about. Seeing her husband, Lu Tsaixio immediately turns on the waterworks. She cries to him, claiming Wu Qin viciously insulted her and begging him to take revenge. Lu Guanyin glares at Li Ruobing and angrily demands she identify the young man. Standing her ground, Li Ruobing introduces Wu Chun as her boyfriend. The billionaire chairman coldly states that humiliating his wife is the exact same as slapping his face. He warns them that an offense like this requires far more than mere words to resolve. Mob boss mode fully activated. Wu Chun looks right at the angry billionaire and tells him he is not afraid of any retaliation. He casually adds that someone else can actually solve this problem for him. He drops a single name, Ma Huifeng. All the anger drains from Lu Guanyin's face, replaced by absolute shock. He stammers, asking how Wu Chun could possibly know her. Taking control of the room, Wu Chun asks to speak with the chairman privately. The two men walk away from the table as Wu Chun announces he has two very specific stories to tell him. He begins the first story. It is about a girl named Lu Lijuan, who was encouraged by a mistress 10 years ago to work in a seedy nightclub. While working there, she met a very wealthy customer. This wealthy customer had suffered a severe youth injury that left him completely unable to have children. After a failed IVF treatment, the drunken customer spilled his darkest secret to Lu Lijuan. That secret sparked her ultimate evil plan. Wu Chun reveals her final endgame is to let the customer die in a tragic accident to steal his billions. Sweating bullets, Lu Guanyin desperately asks if Wu Chun actually expects him to believe this insane story. Pivoting smoothly, Wu Chun reveals that Lu Tsaixio is currently cheating on Lu Guanyin with her supposed cousin. He details their exact secret rendezvous and suggests the billionaire trick her into confessing it herself. Following the script perfectly, Lu Guanyin approaches his wife and casually asks if she and her cousin were at the office yesterday. Lu Tsaixio confidently claims they were in the office all day. Lu Guanyin springs the trap. He bluffs that her cousin already told him they were out meeting a client. Caught totally off guard, she frantically tries to change her story, completely exposing her own lie. Realizing the horrific truth, Lu Guanyin violently slaps Lu Tsaixio right across the face. Mori Povich would be proud. Furious, the chairman orders her to leave immediately. She scrambles away, leaving her clutching her bruised cheek. With his fake life shattered, Lu Guanyin turns and sincerely apologizes to Wu Chun and Li Ruobing. He looks away sadly, lamenting that despite all his wealth, he truly just wanted a child. He sighs, finally accepting the bitter fate that he will never have a child of his own. But Wu Chun interrupts the pity party. He tells the broken billionaire that he actually has a very good son. Lu Guanyin looks up in pure confusion. Wu Chun smiles that terrifying, all-knowing smile and reminds the older man that he still has a second story to tell. Wu Chun dives into the beginning of his second story, laying out a classic tragedy for the billionaire. He tells Lu Guanyin about a pair of childhood sweethearts separated when the man got wealthy, cheated, and cowardly ran away. The man had no idea his abandoned partner was actually pregnant. She raised their son, Ma Jiawei, entirely on her own. The boy eventually grew up and started a happy family of his own, meaning Lu Guanyin actually has a granddaughter. Stunned to learn his son's name is Ma Jiawei, the billionaire eagerly asks if his former partner ever remarried. Wu Chun explains that she never did, enduring deep heartbreak and living quietly in Donghai without ever reaching out. Reaching into his pocket, Wu Chun hands the emotional billionaire a card with her exact address. In exchange for the reunion, Lu Guanyin promises him a massive favor. Walking back to the luxury car, Li Ruobing notes that having a billionaire owe him a favor is a serious asset. Wu Chun simply bids her goodbye and turns to leave, but she suddenly calls him back to the car window. She claims she needs to tell him something, but the moment he leans in, she pulls Wu Chun in for a sudden, passionate kiss. It is a highly calculated move designed to thoroughly disgust Ding Ruelong's hidden spies watching them. Pulling back, Wu Chun just smiles and asks if that was her very first kiss. She deflects immediately, asking if anticipating her kiss was just another part of his vast intelligence network. Wu Chun jokes that her rough technique actually hurt his mouth before casually walking away. Smooth operator strikes again. Meanwhile, outside a nearby apartment, a hungry red-haired woman is complaining about the wait. Her pink-haired friend, Lily, aggressively insists they have to stay and confront a dangerous pervert. The red-haired woman admits she only wanted to ask about him and is highly surprised by Lily's extreme reaction. Suddenly, Lily spots their target approaching down the hall. Inside the building, the red-haired friend laments that she just wanted to speak to him. Lily furiously warns her friend that she has clearly been brainwashed by this guy. Drawing a stun baton, Lily aggressively warns Wu Chun to stay away. He greets them perfectly calmly, but Lily yells right in his face, loudly accusing him of cheating on her friend. As Wu Chun casually turns to open his door, an enraged Lily swings the baton right at his head. Her friend screams in panic for her to stop. Wu Chun completely derails the violent attack by revealing that Lily's boyfriend, Hu Xiaowei, is the one actually cheating on her. Total Uno reverse card. He rattles off highly specific details, explaining how Hu Xiaowei secretly visited his lover on Fuan Road before blowing his money at a KTV. He tells a stunned Lily to call her boyfriend and test it herself. She immediately dials his number and bluffs, claiming there is $10,000 hidden in their bedroom dresser. Hu Xiaowei stutters nervously on the phone, completely exposing his blatant lie about being at home. Furious, Lily drops her crusade and immediately runs off to confront her cheating boyfriend. Her red-haired friend is left standing alone in the hallway. Without missing a single beat, Wu Chun grabs her waist. He effortlessly sweeps her up into a princess carry. She loudly protests, but he ignores her completely, smoothly stating that a princess shouldn't get tired. He carries her right through the apartment door, closing it behind them. The next morning, Wu Chun sits shirtless on the edge of his bed, casually pulling on a shirt. He looks back at the red-haired Lily, who is still buried under the covers, and asks if she plans on getting up yet. She angrily wraps herself tighter in the blanket, complaining that she desperately needs her beauty sleep after getting so little rest because of him. Wu Chun just smiles. He leaves his phone number on the table, telling her to call him instead of just waiting around the apartment. Walking outside, his sharp eyes instantly spot a masked stalker watching him from a parked car. He dials the man directly, telling him to drop the amateur tailing routine and meet him at the training grounds. At the gym, Wu Chun pushes through an intense workout. He knows he perfected every fighting technique during his 1,000-year time loop, but his current physical fitness needs a massive upgrade to prepare for any incoming trouble from Ding Ruelong. Cue the training montage. The masked stalker finally enters the gym. It is Wang Zhuangyuan, the youngest of the 4 major underworld bosses in the East China Sea who rose to power alongside Li Ruotai. Wang nervously drops the tough guy act, claiming he only followed Wu Chun to ensure his safety. Wu Chun sees right through it. He coldly warns the boss that Li Ruotai would be absolutely furious if he ever found out Wang was secretly spying on him and Li Ruobing. Wang gulps hard, completely consumed by anxiety. Meanwhile, Wu Chun calmly takes a sip from his water bottle. Instead of snitching to Li Ruotai, Wu Chun offers a surprisingly simple solution. He proposes they become friends, explicitly stating he wants to utilize Wang's manpower in the future. Friendship born from blackmail. Relieved to be off the hook, Wang gladly agrees to the alliance. Wu Chun is pleased to have secured some heavy muscle, but his plotting is cut short when his phone rings. It is Li Ruobing, and she urgently demands he come over immediately because something terrible has happened. Eager to make amends, Wang Zhuangyuan offers Wu Chun his car and fresh clothes. An apology Wu Chun gladly accepts. Wu Chun arrives at Symphony Fashion to find the entire staff in a panicked frenzy over a massive scheduling crisis. Li Ruobing is rubbing her temples, deeply stressed out on the phone. Wu Chun walks right in and asks what went wrong. She explains the disaster. Their brand new spokesperson, female singer Deng Xuanya, was just hospitalized in a brutal car accident. It was not an accident. Ding Ruelong orchestrated the crash as direct retaliation for Li Ruobing exposing his traitorous spy. Wu Chun offers to find a brand new spokesperson himself. He pulls out a photo of the award-winning movie star, Tao Menying. Li Ruobing just sighs in exhaustion, stating that such an incredibly famous star would never stoop to represent their brand. Seeing her complete lack of faith, Wu Chun confidently leans in and proposes a bet. He wagers that he can get Tao Menying to show up in her office tomorrow morning, ready to sign the contract. Easiest bet of his life. Li Ruobing seriously questions Wu Chen's wild claim that he can sign superstar Tao Menying by tomorrow morning. He leans in and proposes a high-stakes bet. If he loses, he will pay her $20 million out of pocket. But if he wins, she must pay him $20 million for the endorsement fees, and more importantly, she is absolutely not allowed to be jealous. Li Ruobing defensively fires back, reminding him their relationship is entirely fake. Despite her protests, she agrees to the terms. Wu Chun immediately asks her to advance the $20 million into his account to fund the operation. He grabs his phone, ready to call in a favor. Peak fake boyfriend behavior. Wu Chun meets up with Wang Zhuangyuan, who goes by the gaming alias Brother Scholar. Wang has assembled his entire squad of gaming subordinates. Wu Chun orders the crew to log into the MMORPG Legendary City Lord. He instructs everyone to register new characters using the prefix King of the Hegemon. To ensure absolute dominance, Wu Chun casually drops 10 million yuan to fund and build their new clan. Soon, Wang Zhuangyuan's squad calls out to confirm the setup is complete and all players are locked in. Inside the game, Wang Zhuangyuan's heavily armored avatar reports they just blew through over 8 million to buy max levels and top-tier equipment. Their singular goal is to completely suppress the server's top guild, Dragon Slaughter. Wu Chun prepares the second step. The global server announces that Wu Chen's character, Tatsu, has initiated the massive city lord battle. A chaotic, massive clash erupts right in the main city square. For hours into the grueling raid, the guild members are hacking away at a giant minotaur boss, loudly celebrating the sheer destructive power of their heavily funded accounts. Capitalism is the ultimate superpower. The guild successfully clears the dungeon, scoring ultra-rare loot like the Book of Freedom and the Shadow Cloak. But their main opponent, Tyrannical Dragon, steps up and demands a share of the drops. Wu Chun directly confronts Tyrannical Dragon with regrets, the immensely wealthy leader of Dragon Slaughter. Tyrannical Dragon proudly notes their two guilds are perfectly evenly matched, but Wu Chun just smiles a knowing smile. The rival gamer urges Wu Chun not to quit the game after blowing nearly 20 million. Playing his part perfectly, Wu Chun sighs and laments that his woman's company is in deep financial trouble because their main spokesperson was just injured. Swallowing the bait hook, line, and sinker, Tyrannical Dragon boasts about his real-world influence. He brags that he controls multiple actresses and can summon Tao Menying herself with just a single phone call. Wu Chun smiles, knowing his target is hopelessly hooked. When the rival asks how he plans to win the game, Wu Chun confidently declares that he will be the ultimate victor. He then immediately orders his entire guild to strip off all their gear and log off the server. Tyrannical Dragon completely panics. He breaks down crying, desperately begging Wu Chun not to go because he simply cannot stand losing such a perfectly formidable opponent. Gamer logic defies all reason. Inside the virtual game, the excited rival clan leader asks if his opponent is also located in East China. Wu Chun dismissively tells him to stop talking because he has to leave immediately. A system notification announces that Tyrant Ruler Chun has abruptly logged off the server. In the real world, a nearby cell phone on a desk begins to light up and buzz. A hand picks up the smartphone, displaying a text from the rival gamer. The guy casually reveals he just paid 10 million to obtain the phone number directly from the server owner. He suggests they meet up since they are both located in East China. Wu Chun smiles to himself, knowing he completely anticipated this exact behavior. The ultimate pay to win. The phone screen shows Wu Chen's response, agreeing to meet up but noting his woman is in a hurry, so they need a quick plan. Turning to his gaming assistants in the room, Wu Chun tells the squad they worked hard and can finally leave. Holding his phone, he fires off one final text message. He informs his contact that he will be waiting for him at the Qingyuan building in the Zhongqing district. The scene transitions to the beautiful, traditional exterior of the Qingyuan building. He remarks that the mysterious high-rolling player is actually Boss Lei. Inside the traditional courtyard, a sleek black sports car is parked near a low table. A blonde-haired man sits at the table, looking up in disbelief. He asks if this young kid standing before him is really Tyrant Ruler Chun. Holding the hot tea, the blonde man's true identity is revealed. He is Lei Cheng, the 42-year-old second son of the incredibly powerful Hong Fa Lei family. Wu Chun calmly introduces himself without breaking a sweat. Facing each other in the private tea room, Lei Cheng asks Wu Chun if he knows exactly who he is dealing with. Wu Chun smoothly replies that as the second son of the Hong Fa Lei family, his reputation is like thunder. Lei Cheng pours steaming green tea into a cup, quietly muttering about his own reputation. His demeanor hardens as he demands to know exactly what family Wu Chun belongs to. Wu Chun just calmly looks down at his tea and asks why the older man is being so incredibly cautious. He asks if Lei Chang is simply afraid that his own brother is going to kill him. The Hong Fa Lei family is not just rich. They are a top 10 national industrial powerhouse with total assets easily blowing past 60 billion. The entire massive corporation is actively managed by Lei Yu, a man who fiercely wants his semi-retired father's second son, Lei Chang, absolutely dead. In Lei Yu's eyes, anyone making outside contact with his brother is committing an unforgivable act of treason. Lei Chang offers a cup of tea and bluntly demands to know exactly what powerful family Wu Chun belongs to. Wu Chun just calmly sips his tea. He plainly states that he belongs to no major family and possesses absolutely zero secret background. He genuinely wonders if this kid is a deadly spy sent by his murderous brother, or just some random food delivery boy in over his head. Changing the subject, Lei Chang questions the logic of Wu Chen's actions. He asks why on earth a guy would casually burn millions in a virtual video game if he cannot even secure a simple product spokesperson for his woman in the real world. Wu Chun sighs, explaining that someone is actively sabotaging their business. He laments that their brand new spokesperson was literally hit by a car. Lei Chang actually chuckles at the misfortune. He asks if Wu Chun just spent millions of real dollars in a video game solely to vent his pent-up frustration. He generously offers to easily solve the kid's problem by using his own vast connections to secure a brand new spokesperson. He promises to find someone top-tier and casually asks for the name of the business. Wu Chun casually mentions the cosmetics company Symphony Fashion, utterly shocked as he realizes Wu Chen's woman is the infamous Li Ruobing. Naturally assuming that Wu Chun must be a secret part of the powerful Li family, Wu Chun quickly clarifies that he is not associated with them at all, pointing out Li Ruobing's famously poor relations with her own relatives. His cell phone begins to ring. Wu Chun answers the call to find Li Ruobing on the other end, lying highly stressed out in a bathtub. She is absolutely furious, demanding to know if he actually just blew her $10 million investment on stupid video games. Soaking in her bath, she angrily accuses Wu Chun of stalling on their agreement. Lei Chang firmly grips his teacup, staring Wu Chun down, and asks what he was talking about with Li Ruobing. Lei Chang thinks, just who the hell is this kid? Does he have an army of his own? Wu Chun say it's just a couple thing, we placed bet on something and it got quite big. Lei Chang calmly asks what bet? Wu Chun explains that someone is actively targeting Li Ruobing's company, noting that she flat out refused his help solely to protect him. He looks at the billionaire and asks if he is familiar with the name Ding Ruelong. Lei Chang scoffs, replying that absolutely everyone in the city knows that guy. Recognizing that the brutal car accident involving the company's spokesperson has Ding Ruelong's fingerprints all over it, Lei Chang nods in understanding, adding that Li Ruobing is clearly terrified Ding Ruelong would turn his violent attention toward Wu Chun. He states that as a dignified man, he absolutely cannot just stand by, hide in the shadows, and act like a pathetic coward while Ding Ruelong actively targets Li Ruobing. Standing up abruptly, Wu Chun clenches his fists. He passionately shouts, asking how he could ever call himself a real man if he did absolutely nothing to help her. He slams his hand firmly onto the wooden table for dramatic effect. Oscar-worthy acting performance. Lei Chang is completely hooked by the display of macho pride. He shouts in full, roaring agreement, declaring they should immediately replace their tea with strong wine. He loudly curses Ding Ruelong. Lei Chang urges Wu Chun to keep explaining. Wu Chun explains the massive stakes of their recent bet, revealing it gives him absolute, unchecked authority over Symphony Fashion's new product launch. Standing right beside Li Ruobing, Wu Chun lays out the terms. If the upcoming press conference goes off without a single hitch, he wins the bet entirely. But if anything goes wrong, she takes the ultimate victory. Wu Chun sweats nervously. He admits that if he loses this bet, he will be forced to submit to Li Ruobing in every single aspect of his life, heavily restricted and treated like a kept pretty boy. A truly terrifying fate. Hearing the full story, Lei Chang breaks into a massive, broad grin. He happily declares that he can easily help his new friend with this exact situation. Lei Chang agrees to immediately help, sealing the massive deal. Meanwhile, a red-haired woman lounging in a bath reacts with pure confusion to a sudden call. Wearing only a towel, she answers her buzzing cell phone. The person on call calls her honey, while she calls him father. That voice is Lei Chang, speaking happily into his phone. He tells his daughter to drop everything, take a vacation, and return to East China immediately for an urgent cosmetics endorsement. He casually promises to pay the contract-breaking fees and asks for a kiss before disconnecting the call. A proud Lei Chang flashes his phone screen to the younger man. Wu Chun just sits there, looking on in absolute shock at his efficiency. He announces that the deal is officially done, showing a contact simply saved as Dabao. Wu Chun reflects that the entire plan went much smoother than he expected. Securing a superstar like Tao Menning's contract is going to be highly expensive, but Lei Chang just casually handled it for symphony fashion. While typing on his phone, he continues his thoughts about trading crucial information on Lei Yu. He decides he cannot treat Lei Chang unfairly, especially since his wealthy new friend did not hesitate to offend the powerful Ding family. Wu Chun looks up and tells Lei Chang that they are far more destined to meet than he thinks. Lei Chang smiles warmly, suggesting Wu Chun just call him Brother Sheng due to their age difference. But that friendly smile quickly freezes in total shock, as Wu Chun implies a much deeper connection. Wu Chun calmly instructs him to read the newly received text message. Prepare for the fallout. Wu Chun tells the billionaire to find the exact owner of the phone number waiting in that message. He reveals that this specific person will tell him the absolute truth about his near-fatal car accident 10 years ago. The realization hits like a freight train. Lei Chang completely trembling with immense fury at the decades-old betrayal. Wu Chun looks Lei Chang dead in the eye and warns him that he needs to act right now. If they are too slow, Xiong Xingjun will definitely escape overseas. Lei Chang states that he already notified his people, but agrees they must hurry so the target doesn't slip away. The sudden revelation drags the billionaire back to a nightmare from exactly 10 years ago. He remembers the exact moment a massive blue truck deliberately slammed into his car at a road junction. He tried to react, but it was completely useless. The tremendous impact threw their vehicle entirely off the road. The car violently exploded into a roaring inferno. Lei Chang only survived through blind luck, but his beloved wife tragically died right before his very eyes. A Beto-level origin story. He spent 3 agonizing months trapped in the intensive care unit. Eventually, his trusted agent brought him several crucial clues from the wreckage. The driver of the killer truck was none other than Xiong Xingjun. The man just happened to be the deputy head of the Hongfa Group security department. And more importantly, he worked directly for Lei Chang's own brother, Lei Yu. But the driver vanished without a trace immediately after the hit. This forced Lei Chang to bite his tongue and temporarily accept his father's pathetic, fabricated explanation. He explains to Wu Chun that for 10 entire years, he completely swallowed his pride. He pretended to be a foolish, cynical playboy to lower his murderous brother's suspicion. He built a flawless facade while secretly waiting for the day he could hunt down the driver and uncover the bloody truth. Suddenly, a subordinate comes in the tea room. He reports that the target's identity and exact address have finally been successfully confirmed. Lei Chang says it's nice. Placing a heavy hand on Wu Chen's shoulder, he boldly declares that he deeply owes Wu Chun for this information and will always consider him a true brother. As the billionaire rushes off to finally claim his bloody revenge, Wu Chun just smiles to himself. He reflects on the absurdity of his current situation. He has only been out of the time loop for 2 days. In just 48 hours, he has already gained 2 highly influential billionaire brothers in Lu Guanyin and Lei Cheng. Speedrunning the social ladder. He is ready to collect his $20 million and that sweet, promised kneeling apology from his fake girlfriend. He dials Li Ruobing's number, fully expecting to gloat about his impossible victory. Instead, he is met with a cold, automated operator message stating the number is currently on hold. Confused as to why she would hang up on his ultimate moment of triumph, he looks down at his phone screen. A text message from Li Ruobing pops up. It simply states that she is currently in a meeting, sitting in the car, waiting out a red traffic light and sighs. Ah, women. Wu Chun mutters about the complexities of women, wondering if Li Ruobing is still furious at him for blowing $20 million of her money on a video game. His thoughts are interrupted when he spots a flashy fleet of luxury vehicles pulling up right beside him in the traffic. Looking through his window, he suddenly realizes exactly who is sitting inside. He immediately recognizes the beautiful passenger in that luxury vehicle. It is Su Qingying, widely known as the absolute most beautiful woman in the entire East China Sea. Wu Chun flashes back to his past loop lives. He remembers Su Qingying as one of the most incredibly memorable women he ever encountered during his 1,000-year run. Despite her icy, untouchable public exterior, he knows firsthand that she is completely different, almost docile on the inside. Smiling to himself, Wu Chun decides to test the waters. He rolls down his car window and casually waves. Su Qingying doesn't even blink. She immediately rolls her tinted window straight up, completely ignoring his existence. Highly amused by her predictably cold reaction, Wu Chun grabs his phone. He types out a deeply provocative text message, specifically praising her beauty and asking when there will be a bright moon. When she sees her highly guarded secret code pop up on her screen, He anticipates that the cryptic message will force her to take the initiative, reach out, and negotiate with him directly. Woo Chun is genuinely startled when his phone vibrates almost instantly in his hand. But his smile fades when he realizes the incoming message isn't from the icy beauty at all. The message calls him brother-in-law and urgently demands they meet up right now so he can give him a special gift. Woo Chun pulls up to meet Lee Ruotai in front of a massive, modern multi-story mansion. Lee Ruotai smiles with excitement. He proudly presents the sprawling house to Woo Chun, explaining that it is a massive 4-story property complete with a private courtyard. Lee Ruotai urgently pushes Woo Chun to go get his ID card so they can officially finalize the closing right now. He casually explains that the mansion is an early wedding gift. On the morning of July 10th, a red-haired woman wearing a cap and dark sunglasses casually strolls into the company lobby. The receptionist politely asks who she is looking for. The mystery woman answers that she has a scheduled appointment with the president. When the receptionist asks for her name, the woman removes her sunglasses. She introduces herself simply as Tao. The receptionist searches the system and notes with complete confusion that there is absolutely no record of her appointment. Meanwhile, inside the first meeting room, the tension is suffocating. An incredibly stressed Lee Ruobing screams at her board members because they still have not found a suitable replacement spokesperson, and the massive product conference is only 13 days away. She furiously continues her tirade, demanding to know why they are paid several times the average salary if all they do is eat and sleep. Corporate burnout is real. She is entirely unaware of Woo Chen's previous attempts to call her phone. Suddenly, Lee Ruobing's phone rings right in the middle of her meltdown. She answers it aggressively, ready to bite someone's head off. But she completely freezes in absolute shock. Her assistant is on the line, revealing that the insanely famous actress Tao Menying has just arrived at the front desk. Lee Ruobing immediately orders the superstar to be escorted directly to her private office. Realizing that Woo Chun must have somehow orchestrated this impossible, unexpected visit, she rushes out to personally greet the star. She profusely apologizes for the receptionist's delay. Tao Menying smiles warmly, complimenting Lee Ruobing's stunning beauty. She casually remarks that Lee Ruobing and her new husband, Woo Chun, make an absolutely wonderful couple. Lee Ruobing politely shakes hands with the famous actress and invites her to sit down. Fishing for information, she politely asks how the actress and her husband originally met. Confirming her deepest suspicion that Woo Chun was the mastermind behind this miracle, Tao Menying explains that they actually do not know each other at all. Instead, her powerful godfather, Lei Cheng, is sworn brothers with Woo Chun and personally arranged the exclusive meeting. Completely stunned, she cannot believe that Woo Chun is sworn brothers with the son of the immensely powerful Hongfa Lei family. Before she can spiral, Tao Menying politely asks to hurry up with the signing process. A heavily flustered Lee Ruobing snaps back to reality and quickly orders her assistant to bring the official paperwork. They finalize the massive contract with a warm, professional handshake. Both women express their genuine excitement for a highly successful and mutually beneficial business partnership.